India is racing against the world to become the GCC capital of the world.
All eyes now are on GCCs.
GCCs.
GCC.
For decades, India's technology story was defined by outsourcing. Call centers, BPOs, and IT services fueled an entire generation of jobs. It was the golden age of process work. If you were born in the 1990s, you probably knew someone who joined Infosys, TCS, or Wipro straight out of college. That era built the foundation for India's service economy. But it also locked us into a specific role: the world's dependable back office. Today, that script is being rewritten. Multinational companies aren't just outsourcing tasks anymore. They're internalizing them by building their own global capability centers, or GCCs. These are captive units of global giants like JPMorgan, Walmart, Siemens, and Boeing doing high-value work. Data science, product design, cybersecurity, AI research, even R&D for electric vehicles and fintech. They're not vendors, they're extensions of headquarters. And India has become their favorite destination. According to NASSCOM, the country already hosts over 1,580 GCCs, employing 1.6 million people and contributing roughly $100 billion to the economy. By 2030, that number could double. The National GCC Policy, being drafted by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, METI, aims to take this phenomenon and scale it across the country. Until now, individual states competed to attract GCCs. Karnataka offered tax breaks. Telangana streamlined permissions. Maharashtra promised infrastructure subsidies. It worked, but it also created confusion for multinational boards planning billion-dollar expansions. Every state had its own set of rules and incentive structures. The National GCC Policy wants to standardize, simplify, and scale. Imagine a single window through which a Fortune 500 company can choose its city, file its paperwork, and receive clear timelines for approvals. A consistent set of incentives: tax, infrastructure, and talent, whether you set up in Kochi, Lucknow, or Surat. That's the vision METI is now pushing, to make India's innovation landscape more predictable, inclusive, and globally competitive. The policy's focus isn't just on cost advantage, it's on capability building. It encourages GCCs that work on AI, robotics, clean energy, defense tech, and advanced analytics, not just routine IT operations. It promotes co-innovation between academia and industry, connecting universities directly with GCCs to train the next generation of engineers and data scientists. And most importantly, it pushes GCCs to move beyond Tier 1 cities. Bengaluru and Hyderabad may have world-class talent, but they are victims of their own success. Office rents have tripled in a decade.
You are definitely going to see a massive upside in this market. While these residential developments have seen a rapid rise in prices, what I expect is the prices are going to remain stagnant or have slow organic growth in the next 2 or 3 years.
Traffic is at breaking point, and attrition rates exceed 25% in some sectors.
Bengaluru, the heartbeat of India's tech revolution, but every morning that pulse slows to a crawl. Yeah, millions spend hours stuck in traffic, not building codes, but burning fuel and time. Ishan Garg, reporting for CNA, tells us about the costs of congestion.
For a global company, expansion there is now expensive, slow, and frustrating. Here too, India, on the other hand, offers something priceless: breathing room. Cities like Indore, Coimbatore, and Bhubaneswar have strong universities, reliable infrastructure, and much lower costs of living. Their graduates are skilled but underemployed, waiting for opportunities that don't require migration. The National GCC Policy hopes to unlock this hidden labor force and decongest India's overburdened metros. Think of it as economic decentralization 2.0, the digital version of what industrialization did for manufacturing towns a century ago. we are already seeing the early signs. Kochi is developing a new tech corridor where IBM, USD Global, and EY operate side by side. Indore, once known for its cleanliness rankings, is now home to R&D centers in aerospace and cloud computing. Bhubaneswar is emerging as an analytics and fintech hub supported by top universities. And Coimbatore, famous for textiles, is quietly transforming into a precision engineering powerhouse. By 2026, more than 40% of new GCCs are expected to choose Tier 2 cities. That's tens of thousands of high-skilled jobs and billions of dollars in new investments flowing into smaller urban economies. When a multinational sets up a GCC, it rarely stops there. It brings global vendors, international schools, new cafes, logistics firms, and local startups that feed off its ecosystem. An entire microeconomy blossoms around that one decision. In short, GCCs don't just build offices, they build cities. This shift isn't just economic, it's geopolitical. After the pandemic and the US-China trade tensions, multinational companies began to rethink their dependence on a single geography. They wanted resilience, a plan B. That's when the strategy known as China Plus One took shape. India became the natural plus one. It had scale, skills, English-speaking talent, and most importantly, policy intent. The national GCC policy is New Delhi's way of turning this realignment into a national advantage. It doesn't just invite companies to open offices, it invites them to build a future of their industries here. When JPMorgan builds a cyber defense center in Hyderabad, it's not outsourcing IT work, it's building the firewall that protects Wall Street. When Boeing or Airbus sets up engineering labs in Bengaluru, they're designing the cockpits of the next generation of aircraft. And those blueprints are being drawn on Indian soil. When Pepsico establishes an analytics hub in Kochi, global consumer strategy is being modeled by Indian data scientists. This is a profound shift, from India executing the world's instructions to writing them. Every year, India adds over 100 new GCCs. By 2026, there will be close to 1,900 centers, employing more than 2 million professionals and contributing over $130 billion to GDP. The office space they occupy will exceed 50 million square feet, nearly the size of downtown Singapore. But growth brings challenges. Many Tier 2 cities still struggle with power stability, airport connectivity, and high-speed internet. Senior-level talent is scarce, forcing companies to import managers from necros. And while the policy can attract investment, retaining talent will depend on livability. Housing, healthcare, education, and social life all matter. That's why the national GCC policy isn't just about business regulations. It's about urban engineering. It nudges states to invest in metro lines, airports, and digital networks so that a company in Indore or Visakhapatnam feels as connected as one in Bengaluru. If this alignment works, India could see the emergence of distributed innovation corridors. Imagine 10 cities across the country, each specializing in a domain. Pune in automotive AI, Hyderabad in cybersecurity, Chennai in semiconductors, Kochi in maritime tech, Bhubaneswar in analytics, and Coimbatore in engineering design. Together, they would form a networked innovation grid stretching from the West Coast to the Bay of Bengal. A grid that powers not just India's economy, but the world's. When GCCs arrive, they don't just bring jobs, they bring an entire ecosystem. A young graduate who once dreamt of migrating now finds a global paying job in their hometown. Parents save on relocation, and local economies thrive. Women's participation rises. GCCs in India already employ about 35% women, one of the highest in the world. Over time, this changes not just job markets, but mindsets. A generation of Indians will grow up believing innovation can happen anywhere, not just in Silicon Valley or Koramangala. GCC blurred the boundary between foreign and domestic. When a global company builds its brain in India, its interests begin to align with India's growth. Each new GCC becomes a diplomatic bridge, an American, European, or Japanese company with an Indian heartbeat. By 2030, if projections hold, India could host nearly half of all global GCCs. The knowledge capital generated here in AI, logistics, design, and finance will make India the world's largest innovation ecosystem outside the United States. For 2 centuries, economic empires were built on commodities: coal, oil, steel. Today, they're built on intellectual infrastructure, algorithms, patents, and data flows. And through this policy, India is quietly building that infrastructure at a national scale. The next industrial revolution won't be powered by factories belching smoke. It will be powered by servers humming quietly in Indore, Coimbatore, and Lucknow. Empires were once defined by ports and railways. Tomorrow, they'll be defined by data corridors. The national GCC policy might not make headlines every day, but it represents one of the most strategic shifts in India's modern history. A move from Make in India to Think in India. So the next time someone tells you India's growth story is only about startups and unicorns, remember the silent revolution happening behind glass doors in smaller cities. The future of global work will not be decided in California or London. It will be coded in Coimbatore, designed in Indore, simulated in Bhubaneswar, and tested in Trivandrum. This is the new face of India's digital empire. One that doesn't roar, it hums. And as that hum spreads from city to city, policy to policy, it's quietly tuning India into the world's innovation heartbeat. Watch more Periscope, decoding India's next economic revolutions.